Hey folks, this is Evgeny from Easy Automations, and in this tutorial I will show you how to properly set up external payments for subscriptions in the Heartbeat platform. Now, in case you don't know what Heartbeat is an amazing community platform which very easily replaces community platforms like Circle or Mighty Networks, and we're using Heartbeat for our core business. We're huge fans of Heartbeat, and there's an affiliate link for you guys to check out Heartbeat in the description to this video. Heartbeat opens a very extended API, which allows you to do absolute magic with Heartbeat with the help of various different integration platforms, such as in this case, where we would be setting up payments in Stripe, and then we're going to be connecting these payments to Heartbeat with the help of an integration platform. So you can use any integration platform. In theory, you can use Make, you can use Active Pieces, Zapier, but for this tutorial, we're going to be using Pabbly Connect. Pabbly Connect is a true Zapier replacement platform. It offers incredible value, and there's an affiliate link in the description to this video for you guys to check out Pabbly Connect. If you end up subscribing, it's not going to cost you a penny more, and we'll get a little something from either Pabbly Connect or Heartbeat, and that will support our channel. Cool. Okay, so with that, let's first discuss why we would want to set up Stripe payments externally with Heartbeat. So Heartbeat has a wonderful native integration with Stripe, which offers you more than just being able to smoothly process payments and take payments in Stripe and fulfill those payments with memberships and courses in Heartbeat, but it also gives you a whole bunch of other features, like upsells, for example. But sometimes you don't want to be integrating Stripe directly in Heartbeat, and you want to handle the payments separately for various different reasons. Luckily, because Heartbeat has a very extendable API, this is very easy to achieve. So let's discuss how we're going to design these workflows. So if you've ever worked in Stripe, if you've ever poked around what's happening in Stripe under the hood, what you would discover is that the minute something happens in your Stripe account, Stripe starts logging events, such as payment intent created, charge succeeded, or payment failed. And it's great for a platform like Stripe to log all of these events because it allows developers to integrate with Stripe. And every single event that happens in Stripe as a platform, Stripe is very happy to send out externally with webhook notifications. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be selecting those events that we are interested in, because we're not going to be interested in all events that Stripe logs when payments happen, when subscriptions are new, and that sort of thing. And we're just going to select a subsection of these events. And I'm going to ask Stripe to send these events out with webhook notifications to Pabbly Connect, which is our integration platform in this tutorial. And then Pabbly Connect will use the data from these events, and then we'll use this data to call on Heartbeat and perform something on Heartbeat. So that's how we're going to do this. Now, let's look at the actual workflows that we're going to build. So there are two workflows that we're going to build. Workflow number 1 and workflow number 2. So in workflow number 1, we're going to be listening for an event in Stripe, which is called Checkout Complete. A Checkout Complete is an event that Stripe logs when someone goes to a payment link, which is associated with your subscription, and pays for it. So completes a checkout is successful. Stripe managed to charge the customer. And so when that happens, Stripe will send a webhook notification with the checkout complete event. So we're going to catch this notification with Pabbly Connect. So Pabbly Connect will be somewhere here. And then we're going to be using the data from this event, which Stripe will supply to Pabbly Connect, to then add the user who completed the payment to a group, and then we're going to add the user to the invite. And the reason why we're doing both group and invite has to do with the fact that the user could be either an existing member of your community, or it could be someone who doesn't have an account in your community. Now, at some point in time, all subscriptions get canceled. They get canceled voluntarily, or sometimes folks forget to update their payment details, or for any other reasons. So we want to make sure that we reflect that. So whenever the subscription gets canceled in Stripe, Stripe will send out an event notification. Pabbly Connect will be here. And so then we're going to ask Pabbly to call on Heartbeat to remove the user from the group. There's an optional step for you to be able to remove the user from the community. It really depends on what sort of community design you have. So in our integration, we will not be using this step. So we're just going to stop here from removing them from the group, the same group that we added them to when we added them to the membership. And that's pretty much it. Now, you might be thinking, well, usually when, let's say, someone's subscription lapses, right? For some reason, the rebill fails. Various different reasons. Some customers just forget to update their payment details and their cards expire. Some customers do this intentionally. They change their payment details as soon as their subscription starts. And then when the next billing cycle comes up and Stripe tries to rebill them, their payment fails. So why do we have to wait until subscription gets canceled? In theory, we don't need to wait. So whenever a payment fails, Stripe also sends out events. But this complicates the integration. And unless you are absolutely desperate to remove someone from the group or from the community, the minute the payment fails, and you don't want to wait for Stripe to handle dunning, as in sending all those emails to the customer saying, hey, your payment has failed, update your subscription. Unless you're absolutely desperate to remove them from the group as soon as their payment failed, my suggestion would be to make things a lot simpler, simplify your life, and simply wait for Stripe to offer the customer a few opportunities to update their payment details. And then if they don't do this, then cancel their subscription. Now, the good thing is that you can set up this subscription dunning behavior in Stripe exactly as you wish. You can tell Stripe how many days it should leave between the attempts to charge the customer for the upcoming billing cycle. This is all customizable. So to simplify your life, I would just outsource the handling of all of this to Stripe, and simply, if Stripe is unable to bill the customer a few times, subscription will get automatically canceled, and then Stripe will send out this event to Pabbly, and then you can remove the user from the group and from the community. Cool. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is create a product. Now, I am operating in the test mode, and this is how you should always start building your integrations with Stripe. You start in the test mode, and then you transition them into the live mode. Now I'm going to show you how. To get into the test mode, all you need to do is hit this toggle here, test mode, and you need to be in the product catalog. If you don't have these pinned here, it's always under more button here. So you're going to the product catalog, and we're going to create a product. So we're going to call it test membership heartbeat, and we're just going to create a test price. Just reminding you, you can adjust all of these things when you copy your products into the live mode. So I'm just going to create a 10 British pounds per month standard membership. Feel free to adjust these particular details exactly how you want to see fit. So we're going to click add product, and this is our test membership. Now, there are a couple of things that you need to know about Stripe, and this is going to help you with loads of different scenarios, which will be a lot more complicated, where you need to be filtering on some of the data that Stripe will be sending to you. Let me show you the minute Stripe creates something like a product, which is a test membership. As you can see, every product that Stripe creates has a product ID. And it's generally a very good idea to copy these IDs and paste them somewhere, because you never know when you will need them. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So if you're like me and you like your Apple Notes, create a note and let's start copying. So we're going to copy this product ID. And at this point in time, I don't even know, and I don't need to know if I'm going to use this, but I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to save it somewhere. And then, as you can see, the other thing that Stripe has done is created a price, right? And this price also has an ID. So let's copy this price ID and let's paste it here. Now, in most cases, when you need to filter on something, you're going to be filtering on price IDs, because every price ID is always linked to a product. So, for example, just because this pricing schedule is £10 per month doesn't mean that, let's say if you create a different membership and you also have a similar schedule of £10 a month, that it will use the same price ID. No, every price ID is linked to one product ID. So in most cases, it's really the price ID that you're going to be using in case you need to filter on something. But it's always good to just copy and paste, save as many data points as possible from where Stripe creates them. Now, the other thing that we'll need is a payment, because we're going to be placing test payments to test our integration. So let's go ahead and create that payment link. Obviously, it will be a test payment link. Feel free to customize these parameters as you see fit. In reality, where you will want to customize them probably is when you copy all of this to the live mode. So for now, I would just leave it as it is and just click create link. And there you go. So this is our payment link for this membership. So copy it, also paste it somewhere safe so you can get back to it later on. So that's pretty much it. This is all we need to do in Stripe. Now let's go to Pabbly. So the first workflow we're going to be building is when the checkout is completed. As you can see, I've already started building this workflow in Pabbly, and the trigger here is the checkout completed. Now, we need to start catching the notifications from Stripe. Whenever you start this module as a trigger, Pabbly offers you this webhook URL. This is the URL where we want Stripe to be sending the notifications when someone has completed a checkout. So let's go ahead and do that. We copy this URL into the clipboard, and then let's go to our Stripe. And in the search bar here, just type in webhooks and go to the webhooks and click add an endpoint. So paste the endpoint here and events on this account, and then click on select events. Now as you can see, there's a ton of different events that Stripe logs and sends out when things are happening in your account, but you don't need them all. What you need is an event. It's called a checkout complete. So just start typing checkout session completed. That's what we're looking for. So let's click add events and add endpoint. So there you go. Now let's place a test purchase. So as you can see, Pabbly is now waiting for the webhook response. It's waiting for data to be sent to it. Well, let's send some data. The way to send some data is to use the payment link that we have created. And we're going to use this payment link to place a test purchase. So here is the checkout page that Stripe has created for you once you've used that payment link. And I'm just going to add an email address, which is my email address. And I'm going to enter the test card details, which you will know if you've ever done any testing with Stripe. This is the card to use for 2, and then just any numbers here and anything in here. Apparently it doesn't like it. Create something 7AU. Let's create a fake postal code for the UK. And we're going to click subscribe. And what will happen is Stripe will send out the webhook notification to Stripe that a checkout session has been completed. So let's go to Pabbly and see if that data is here, and that data is indeed here, as you can see. Now there are some interesting bits and bobs that Stripe includes as part of the data set that it sends out. So let's see if there's anything here that we will need. So literally, the only piece of data that is important to us here is this payment link ID. So how are we going to use this payment link ID in our integration? Let's go back to Stripe. Let's close this page. And where's our Stripe? There it is. Let's go to payment links. So we've created payment links. So this is our active payment link. So if we go to this page of the payment link, we can immediately see the ID of this payment, because this is where it is. It says an event payment link with the ID was created. So this is indeed the ID of the payment link. Now your payment link is linked to your price ID. So you can essentially use it as a substitute for the price ID. So this payment link ID is the ID of the payment link that you have created when you attached it to a price. And every payment link is attached to a specific price that is attached to the product. So essentially you can use this payment link ID instead of your price ID in case you're using payment links to pay for your memberships. So in which case, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Pabbly and we're going to copy this payment link ID, and we will also paste it somewhere. Now, if you have many different payments happening in your Stripe account, many different checkout sessions, and they are all for different memberships and prices. What you probably want to do is you want to consider creating filters so that this particular workflow filters out on this payment link ID, and then that way you can set up actions that are only related to this particular membership that you're charging for. So I'm going to create a filter module here, and we're going to filter values, click connect, and then let's just find a link. And there you go. This is the payment link, needs to be equal to, and copy this ID, paste it here, and test the request, and it comes out as success. In case there are other payment links that are being used in your Stripe account, it will only filter on these. Now that checkout session is done, we need to add someone to the group and then add someone to the invite in Heartbeat. So the next action will be in Heartbeat. Thankfully, Heartbeat has the native modules here that you can use. So we're going to use add users to the group action. I'm going to connect it. Now, I haven't connected Heartbeat to my account because I've been using the direct HTTP or API modules, but I'm going to do this right now. So this is going to be Heartbeat Easy Automations, and I'm going to find my API token. I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to create this connection. So I've created the connection between Pabbly Connect and Heartbeat, and I guess I need to find the group I want to folks members of, and the group that I'm going to create is, I guess, going to use this PayPal group. Ignore the fact that it's PayPal, it's just this group in this community is not connected to internal payments. Let's get back to Pabbly. Yep, so PayPal group and emails. Just going to have a search for the email, and the customer email is here, and remove from sibling groups, no. And so let's just test this, see if it works. Yep, so success is true. Let's just check in the membership and see if there's another member here, and there it is. That member is me. That's not really my name, but anyway. So that works, that got added, and then let's go back to Pabbly. And now we need to add the last action here, which is we need to add someone to the invite in case the user who just purchased the subscription doesn't have an account in your Heartbeat community. So we're going to use the native Heartbeat action here, which is send invitation to users. And I'm going to use the same connection that I've just created. Now, as you can see in this Heartbeat module, if you look at the invitation as, they unfortunately just use the roles that you're going to be inviting users as. So you would have created an invite in your Heartbeat community. So for example, there is this invite here, which is for the PayPal group. So any one of those will actually work. But because Pabbly just takes out and uses the role to name the invite, doesn't use the group to name the invite, it's quite impossible to know which one is which. So the only way that we can actually do it is by looking at what invite ID this every individual invite is. Now, you obviously need to select the invite that you want to add the users to. So let me just delete this one to avoid confusion. Now, so we're going to be inviting folks to this invite, which is invites them to the PayPal group. How do we know what ID this invite actually has? So there's nothing here in Heartbeat that will give us this information, which is why we need to go to the API docs. So let's go to the API keys here, and let's go to the API documentation. I'm just going to go to invitations, and let me just maximize this. And in these invitations, let me just make sure that I'm pasting the right API key here. So I'm going to copy my API key, and I'm going to paste it into the authorization form here. And this endpoint here, which is the default one when you go into invitations, is the get endpoint. It returns an array of all invitations in the Heartbeat community. Excellent. That's exactly what we need. So click try it. And this is essentially the list of all the invitations that we have in the group. Now we need the invite that invites users to the role that is called user, which is this one, and the group, PayPal group. So let's see if we can find it. Let's go back to the API docs, and lo and behold, this is the one. So it invites people to the role user and to the group PayPal group. And the ID of this invite is this one at the very top. So I'm just going to copy this invite ID. I'm going to go back to Pabbly, and rather than using the mapping, actually rather than using the select from the list, I'm just going to map it in to delete this and paste this. So this is the invite I need to be adding users to, and then the emails is type in email, and there it is. You can just save this one. There's no need to test this action because it's the last one in the workflow. And so that completes this workflow. Now let's create another workflow, and this one we will call subscription cancel Stripe. So let's build this integration here. Let's start with Stripe, and the trigger will be canceled subscription. Okay, so we are going to create another webhook subscription. Here's a copy this webhook URL. Then let's get back to our Stripe, and let's get back to webhooks. Let's create another endpoint. This is the URL and the events that we want. Cancel, and it needs to be customer subscription canceled. So I'll look, subscription deleted. I think this is the one. Let's just check what Pabbly wants. Yes, it's the deleted one. Yes. So that's the only event that we need. So click add event, add endpoint, and let's go ahead and cancel the subscription. So let's go back to our subscriptions. So there's the test subscription. It's currently a test membership Heartbeat. That's the one. So ignore this one I've created as well. So test membership Heartbeat. Let's cancel it. And this mimics exactly what would happen if the customer was to cancel their subscription, or if the subscription was to be canceled automatically due to non-payments. So let's get back to Pabbly and let's see if we've got some data sent from Stripe. And indeed we do. There it is. Excellent. So let's see what other bits and bobs it is sending through. Now here, as you can see, it's giving us the product ID. Okay, that's cool. And this is something hopefully will match the product that you have copied and pasted previously. Go ahead and check it. So I can already check that's indeed the product ID. Now you will also see that it's giving us the price ID. Let's go ahead and check it versus what we previously copied and pasted into our note. And that is indeed the price ID. Now, as you can see, the payment link was related to this price ID, and this price ID is related to the product. So we won't be needing the payment link ID here, but what we will need is this price ID here when we're going to be filtering. Because say you're running multiple different memberships, multiple different products in your Heartbeat, and you want this workflow to specifically be related to that particular membership tier that you've created in Heartbeat, in which case you will need to filter on this price ID. Now we also obviously want to see the customer's email here. So let's see if we can find the customer's email. And if you scroll up and down, you won't be able to find a customer email. So don't worry, we're going to find a way how to deal with it. First of all, let's do a filter, and let us filter on the price ID to make sure that this workflow only works for the membership that you set up. So in here, we're going to enter price in the search bar, and this is the plan ID or the price. We're just going to do that. Price ID, by the way, and plan ID is the same thing. It's just Stripe often introduces different notations in its API. My recommendation is that you're using a price ID rather than a plan ID, because this is the newer notation in the Stripe API. And so it needs to be equal specifically to the price ID that you've copied and pasted and saved somewhere before, which is this one. So let's save and test this request. Condition is true. Perfect. Now, we need to find out the customer's email somehow. So let's see what Pabbly has to offer for us. So let's look at Stripe and let us see, create a customer, need a customer, create, update a customer, retrieve a customer by ID. There you go. That's what we need, because Stripe did give us the customer ID. And so we're just going to go ahead and use that ID to retrieve the customer by that ID and get the customer's email. Now, I already have my integration set up here, and you should do the same, but let me show you what you're going to be doing. I don't remember if this is the right connection that I have, so I'm going to create a new connection, and I'm going to call it Easy Automations Test Account, and then, importantly, Test Key. Because when you're going to be bringing these integrations into the live mode, you're going to create another live token. So here it's going to be the test token. Right, where are we going to find the test token? Well, let me show you. If you type in API keys into the search bar, it will take you to this little page. And the key that you always want for Pabbly is the secret key. So I'm going to click reveal the secret key. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it into here. So go ahead and do that. All right, so I have done this, and we're now going to retrieve the customer by ID. This module is asking for the customer ID, and we're going to find this customer ID. So go to the search bar here in Pabbly and just type in costs, and there you go. That's your customer ID. And let's see if it can actually retrieve any of the details that we need. And lo and behold, there are some details here. And let's see if we've got the email, and this is the email. That's the piece of data that we need for Heartbeat. So the next module will be Heartbeat, and in Heartbeat, we're going to remove this user from the group. So type in remove users from a group, click connect. So I'm using my Heartbeat Easy Automations connection. The group is PayPal group, and the users of the selected group, the email is here. So we're just going to type in email, and this is the email that we found from the previous step, and let me send a test request and to see if I was actually removed from that group. So I'm going back into here. As you can see, PayPal group has 0 members. So this member, which is also me, it was removed. So this all now works. Cool. So now what we need to do is we need to bring all of these workflows to the live mode. How are we going to do it? So get ready to copy and paste another set of IDs because you're going to need them. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to work in Stripe. And in Stripe, we are going to go to the product catalog, and we are going to get into our product that we've created. We're going to say copy to live mode. Copy this to live mode, and that product is now in the live mode. So let's go to the live mode, into products. And so this is now a live product, which will charge customers money. So let's go into this live mode. And as you can see that it copied the product, and copied the price, and you will need this price ID. So copy this price ID, and maybe in your node, just create a section that says a live membership details and paste this price ID in there. Well, this price ID does not have a payment link. Yeah, I need to create it. So let's create that payment link. And this is where you do really need to adjust it somehow. Make sure you have a credible success page, where it is what you want, payment page, and I don't know what else you want to do here. But anyway, so I'm going to create this link. So this is now the live link, and you need to note that link's ID because we're not going to be testing this link for the ID. Need to find this ID somewhere. So where would we find the ID of the payment link? As soon as you create the payment link, it gives you the ID right here. So just click on this event, and as you can see, this is the event. And all you need to do, just click see all items and see if we can copy it. There you go. We can copy it, and just make sure that you don't copy it together with the quote, because you just need the actual payment link text without any of the quotes. Okay, so that is done. Now we need to bring the workflows in Pabbly to work with your live Stripe account as opposed to with your test Stripe account. So let's get back to Pabbly workflows, and let's start with this workflow. This is the second workflow that we created. It's the cancellation. So this module, the trigger, now works with a webhook notification, which is being sent from your test Stripe account. Let us add the same webhook URL to your live Stripe account. How are we going to do this? Copy it and let's go to your live Stripe account, which is here, and let's go to webhooks. And as you can see, it's exactly the same idea as in your test account. So we're going to add the endpoint, paste it here, and importantly, in the event selection, look for deleted. And this is the customer subscription deleted event, just this one. Add events, add checkpoint. So that is done. Okay, so this means that now the live account will be sending these notifications to Pabbly, to this URL. Pabbly will get them. No need to click reCAPTCHA response, just leave it running as it is. Then in this section here, so this action here where Stripe will be retrieving customer by ID, you need to change the connection. You need to change the Stripe account from test to live. So in here, we're just going to use Stripe and the event is the same, customer by ID, click connect. And you need to create a different connection. And if you haven't created a connection with your live account, let's do this now. So I'm going to create a new connection. Call it easy automations test account live key. And so you're actually doing exactly the same thing. You're going to the API keys. You need to create a secret key and then copy that secret key and paste it into here into Pabbly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And in here, all you need to do is you need to do exactly the same thing as we did in the previous workflow. So just type in customer and that's it. This workflow is done. And now let's adjust the first workflow, the one that adds folks to the membership. So I'm in my subscription start workflow and let's create the same webhook notification in our Stripe live account. So copy this URL, then let's go to our Stripe live account and then let's go to webhooks and let's create another hook. So in the endpoint URL paste where you're just here, and we need the checkout completed event. So endpoint, so that's fine. So this one is taken care of and that's it. We don't need anything else because we're not using any other Stripe modules. Now, the last thing you need to do is adjust the filtering because remember, in this workflow, for example, the subscription start, you are using a filter where you're filtering on the payment link ID, but this payment link ID is the one from your test account and you need to change it to your live account. You've obviously copied and pasted the correct payment link from your live account, so all you need to do is just substitute this payment link, which is from your test account, and paste in the link that's from your live account. So that's what you need to do in this workflow. And then if you go to the subscription cancel workflow, in the subscription cancel workflow, you also have a filter, but this filter is filtering on the price ID as opposed to the payment link ID. And again, the logic here is exactly the same. You need to delete this price ID because it's coming from your test account and substitute it for the price ID for this from your live account. And once you've done that, then your job is fully done. And that's it. So you can bring your payment links live, you can add them to your website, and customers will be joining your Heartbeat community with external payments enabled in Stripe. Now, this is probably a good idea for you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell notification button so that you can be notified of new tutorials being posted. And there's always plenty of opportunities for you guys to support my work by either using the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description to this video, or if you want to go super fast and you don't want to spend time building these workflows, you can purchase them with the link that I'm also including in the description to this video. Now, let's discuss one other thing that I think some folks will ask, and that is how and where do you handle the behavior of Stripe in how it deals with failed payments for subscriptions. So in your Stripe account, type in subscriptions and see here, settings, billing, subscriptions, and emails. This is the page that hosts all of the different changes that you can make to change the behavior of Stripe trying to collect payments for your subscription. what you want to do is you may want to create an event for coming invoices 7 days before subscription renews, and you can send invoice about upcoming renewals or about expiry cards to your customers. In case this is something that you want to do, then your customers can update their payment details in time. The other thing that you can do is you can change the behavior of Stripe as Stripe is trying to collect payments. The default option here is smart retry policy for subscriptions, and this says retry up to 4 times within 3 weeks. Now you can easily change this to, let's say, 1 week, and you can change how many times Stripe tries to retry it. You can just leave it 4 times. And each time Stripe tries to build your customer and they're unsuccessful, they'll also send them an email saying that they were unsuccessful. Now you can also change the behavior here as to what is happening if the payment is unsuccessful. So if all retries for a payment fail, cancel the subscription. So this is the default behavior, and this is what I would leave here. And you should be concerned with invoices whatsoever. So if you've changed anything in these settings, just make sure to hit save, and that will change the behavior of Stripe. So I think this is actually quite cool. I think in most cases, none of us need to do anything to change this default behavior, and Stripe will handle dunning better than anyone of us can do. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any comments, or if you have any questions about this integration, feel free to leave some comments underneath this video, and I'm going to make sure to answer them.